Hey folks, welcome to Planning Traffic. Today's episode's coming from Atlanta, Georgia, at the one and only Oakland Cemetery. The bell tower in the background. I've been in here before. We'll probably put the link to my last video here in the description. Oh, two things, folks, I wanted to mention before entering into today. Look at it's going to be that kind of day today here in Oakland Cemetery. I'm one subscriber away from 600. I decided to give a brand new Heels hat, and for those of you who do not know who the Heels are and where the Mikey Heels name came from, so the Heels are a band that I'm in Philadelphia. It plays out of Philly, PA. We've been at it a pretty good stretch here. Of course, I originally was singer for Pagan Babies and started the Heels. So there's the Heels end of it. And there was a podcast that I really enjoyed, and I know the fellas that were on it, called Broad Street Breakdown. And I'll never forget one time, me and my son and I ended up bumping into all the fellas from Broad Street Breakdown. I remember Steve, Pablo, Jeff, and Vinny Paz. So bumped into them at the wrestling event, and it was fun. We were just bullshitting and blah blah blah, saying hello and good stuff like that. And then I remember listening to their podcast later that week, just talking about the show, and I remember them saying, "Yeah, well, Mikey Heels," and I went, "Mikey Heels? Who the hell's Mikey Heels?" And they were talking about me doing. They were talking about the show and seeing me there and blah 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 blah. That's where Mikey Heels came from. Yes, full credit, Broad Street Breakdown. Super guys, all of them. Okay, back to business. I'm going to, as I pass 600 subscribers on my channel, I'm going to talk to the individual who's been the busiest individual on my channel, whether commenting on videos or of that nature, and I'm going to send them the hat, and that's how that's going to go, because I have no idea how that's going to play out. But I am crossing that threshold very soon, and maybe later today. Okay, welcome to Planning Traffic, Oakland Cemetery. Today we're going to visit a couple spots in Oakland Cemetery. I've been to Kenny Rogers' grave. I've actually sang a song at Kenny Rogers' grave. I've been to other graves. The author of Gone with the Wind is here, and today we are just going to look at this. Look, cemeteries may not be for everybody, but let me show you this. Similar to Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philadelphia are these elaborate brick walking paths. Look at this, all the way down. You just can literally just walk through here, and it's a public. It's open to the public. Come in, enjoy. Look at the beauty, the color, the variety of everything, whether plants, trees. It literally, it's so amazing. Oakland Cemetery, I've had the pleasure of being in here multiple times. Laurel Hill Cemetery, absolutely amazing as well. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Look at that. So you're looking at lily pads and all. So this is this is basically around the bell tower ridge. This is the out in the rain fountain. Look how cool it is already. Look, you know what? That's got a chance. All right, I'm gonna let you know. That's thumbnail possibility. Look at that tree in the back. The out in the rain fountain. The reason why I wanted to kind of like peek at this today and kind of show you all this. So it was made by Mott Ironworks Company in New York. But this fountain is a replica, one displayed at the 1876 United States Centennial Celebration in Philadelphia. The city of Atlanta paid $101 for the cast iron statue. Okay. In 1913. A renovation in the mid-2000s cost $10,000. It's its relation to my hometown of Philadelphia, PA, that it was kind of pivotal to swing by today and take a peek and kind of document the one and only out in the rain fountain. Look at it. All we need is a frog. Yeah, a frog would be spectacular. Next spot that I'm going to show you kind of get a little melancholy because the last time I was here was in this spot, because I was at this landmark before. The last time I was here was probably, nailed it, so 2012. So we're talking about 13 years ago I was here. And I remember me and my son came in. Everyone was doing something down here. We were visiting Atlanta. We were visiting we were visiting family, generally speaking. And yeah, so like so me and Ian and you know Ian from my videos, we came in here and we found this. So this is known as the gas lamp. There was 50 of these. This gas lamp is one of 50 lamps placed in downtown Atlanta in 1855. Its scars may have been caused by shrapnel during the siege of Atlanta during the Civil War. And you can look at this. I don't know if I'm supposed to be stepping on this gas meter, it says here. But it was 50 of these. And I remember looking at the different plugs that are in it and the shrapnel. And like I said, it's saying here, even in this spot here, that yeah, that it may have been from the siege of Atlanta. But there's 55 of these these were installed in Atlanta back in 1855. Good God. Yeah, so this was donated to Oakland Cemetery back in 1999, and right to the right of it, well, as we're looking at the lamp itself, is this armillary sundial, which dates all the way back to 1500 BC. Now, how you tell the time? Let's see. Let me see if I can learn this real quick. Okay, so the shadow is right here. You can see by the left shadow is right to the left of the 10, with the right shadow being right to the left of the 11. I don't know. It's 12:30, so somewhere within that, it's probably, whether it's pointing in that exact spot to tell our time accurately right from here, I really don't know, but it sounds cool as heck. And this is right next to, by the way, this is right next to the gas lamp, and two timeless pieces of technology, and in my opinion, definitely a must see at the Oakland Cemetery. So one thing I want to make you aware of is you could go right in, right below the bell tower. That's right ahead here at the bell tower ridge. There's a lot of nice things right around the bell tower. We're going to sit right here. Look at this. Look at you. So you go on the bell tower, right that first floor, there's basically like a gift shop. And you can get one of these. And these come in handy. And I'm going to tell you what, it's kind of fun figuring it out. The grid based on the different numbers of where different things will be, because right here, number 72, ready? 72. As we watch this, we're going to do this. Look at this high-tech filming and production. Is this? We're going to show you this. And yeah, I found this. And this, folks, is the grave of Tweet the Mockingbird, buried January 24th, 1874. So you may wonder, who is Tweet the Mockingbird? Well, Tweet the Mockingbird kind of symbolizes in Oakland Cemetery that, yes, you can bury your beloved pet. And back in 1874, Tweet the Mockingbird was buried right there. And but you might wonder why there's not a mockingbird. Let's go see. So back in 1874, 150 some odd years ago, this was the headstone to represent a pet, and that is a lamb. It is a lamb. The headstone is a lamb, a weathered lamb, as we peek in at the face. But this was to signify that there was a pet buried here, and that, yes, Oakland Cemetery was more than welcoming your beloved pet. Tweet the Mockingbird. All the way from oh my God, just think about this. Why I love public cemeteries. Again, I keep repeating, like Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philadelphia, Oakland Cemetery here in Atlanta. The historical level of the cemetery itself is well documented, and they celebrate that here in this cemetery. They want you to come in and find things and see things and learn things. And one of the things that I like about this particular stone here is that fact that the people who are buried here, who, by the way, I do not know, are, I believe, their spirits somewhere, and they're watching a 58-year-old man vlog on his YouTube channel about the stone they put down in 1874. And let me, I'm going to tell you what, folks, when I pass, if I could leave something somewhere, and 150 years later someone comes searching for it, oh my God, that would make me flip him. Well, you can't flip in the grave because I think your spirit's away from that, away from the shell. But you know that old phrase, oh, they're going to turn in their grave. I would turn in my grave. That's a goal. I'll have to think that through, how I'm going to come about to have that 150 years later, an old man come through and go, you know what, this is what the guy 150 years ago did. It sounds special. So right next to Greenhouse Valley, which is right next to the Bell Tower Ridge, and beyond, right this direction over here, there's a potter's field. Well, look at that. at another time. This particular area right here that I'm standing in is the African American burial ground. The previous time I was here, the last time I shot an episode of Planning Traffic in Oakland Cemetery, I know there's a marker right up the way that talks about the segregation of cemeteries, along with the history of this cemetery as it pertained to segregation. And of course the change over time from segregation in the cemeteries. Oh my God, I've seen that. When I paid respects to James Byrd's grave in Jasper, Texas, I remember the big move there to go away from segregation in the cemeteries was to bring the fence down that separated the black graves from the white graves. And then what ended up happening when James Byrd was buried there, they had to put a fence around his grave because it was being desecrated. So I'm gonna close this episode out in the African American burial ground, and because I just found a grave that I was looking for, and that would be James Tate. James Tate was raised in slavery but secretly educated. After emancipation, Tate moved to Atlanta and played an active role in city politics, society, and business for the next 3 decades. He co-founded Friendship Baptist Church, created Atlanta's first elementary school for African American children, and opened the city's first black-owned business. Yeah, that is a look. That's amazing, right? That's amazing work right here, and this is where James Tate is buried. And we have a friendship church around our way. There's a Friendship Church Road. I did some research today to see if James Tate was involved, like, because there was many churches that was affiliated with the Friendship Baptist Church, because it was getting bigger and bigger. But to be in that position, obviously I would know nothing about that, about what it would like to be a slave. But then to find a way to educate yourself amongst all that torture and ridiculous livelihood, and then to lay the groundwork for your race for schooling and business, and yeah, just had to stop here, looked at the list, and I was like, oh, I need to see James Tate's grave and pay my respects today. I'm going to be back here a lot, man. I love this place. I love the historical nature of it. This is the first actual human being that I stopped by to see today, because there is that much going on. But it's good, the historical side of it. I get a lot of joy out of being here and paying my respects and learning about somebody I did not know about today before I got here, or today before I was doing my research. James Tate. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Playing in Traffic. I really I think it's a great day. It's a great, peaceful, relaxing, educational walk. There's so much to see here in Oakland Cemetery. Between the trees, the springtime, it literally looks, I mean, when I came in here, I think it was in the fall, I was here last, maybe winter, and honestly, I was kind of blown away just from how it looked during the winter, but it's just so colorful all year round. And so I would definitely say, hey, this is a destination for people looking for peace and quiet, looking for a relaxing walk, and looking to learn a little bit here and there. Stop in Oakland Cemetery. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Again, James Tate passed in 1897. I didn't know if I clarified that in the beginning when I was at his grave. I want to make sure that was definitely mentioned there. Have a great day, folks. Pleasant tomorrow, and I'll see you next episode.